So now we will pay homage to the Buddha by reciting Namo Tassa 3 times. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. So today we have to talk about dukkha 6 stars. Actually, because in the Pali word it will end in da, that's why I just use 6 stars, right? Okay, now we should say what are the 6. If we are going to improve our meditation, you must remember these 6. You must guard these 6. The first one is kamaramata, delighting in activities. So that means in the monastery also, we may have many activities, many ceremonies, right? If we have to attend many ceremonies, we cannot meditate. So if we like many activities and many ceremony, it's not the way to improve our meditation. The first one is also important. So another one is Vasaramata, delighting in conversation. So it will be very much in detail. Later I have to explain. The Nitaramata, delighting in sleeping. So that means if we like sleeping too much, we cannot improve. Then Sanganikaramata, delighting in communication. So we may communicate with many different people, many contact persons. Then again, Bhajane Matanyuta, moderating in foods. Yeah, opposite, contrary to that, we can also say not moderating in the foods. That means Bhajane Amatanyuta, not moderating in foods. 6, Indriyesu Agoda Dwarata. Also, we can also say Indriyesu Agoda Dwarata, not guarding sense doors. So these are 6 things. So why can we improve? Why can we not improve? It comes from all these 6. That's why when we are going to improve, we must remember these 6. We must guard these 6. Okay, now, Parakamaramatta, I have already introduced. Activities means in the monastery, it can be many ceremonies. Similarly, at home also, you may have many ceremonies, right? For example, birthday, New Year's, right? Recently New Year, you are busy, right? If somebody's birthday, New Year, anniversary, many anniversary also, right? So whatever you have to celebrate something, whatever something you have to celebrate, then it will make you busy. You cannot meditate. That is why Kamaramata is important for layperson. Actually, in my life, I have never done birthday party or birthday ceremony. Very simple, right? If they would do some ceremony, I will get Dhamma talk. That's all. This body presence is Dhamma. My body presence is Dhamma talk, right? It should be very simple. Okay, that means if we are busy with many activities, sometimes birthday party will be very big grouping, very big gathering, very big ceremony. The bigger ceremony we celebrate, the more tiring job we are doing. That's why if we have a lot of ceremony, a lot of celebrations, we cannot meditate very well. Okay, it will be for happiness, sure, but it also make busy. For about Vasaramata, I should introduce many different things about Vasaramata. So compensation, we should also have proper compensation. Sometimes we just talk unnecessary things or unbeneficial things, just wasting time, right? Then how to filter good speech? Here, I will list out what the Buddha said. Kalavati, speaking in the proper time. This is also important. So it will be many different conditions. For example, when someone is very angry, we don't give any information to him. It's not the time to talk with him, to discuss about something, right? That's why we have to know the time and the condition. So that means Kalavadi means speaking in the proper time. Okay, another thing is sometimes, although our speech is the truth, another one, number two, Buddhavadi, right? Telling the truth and the nature. So telling the truth means, okay, it should be true all the time. Sometimes we may give right information or good information. This is also called truth. Then talking about the nature, right? For example, the nature of heat, how it become very, very hot. We may discuss something to solve the problem. This is the Buddhavadi. Sometimes, although it's the truth, but it's understandable sometimes. Not good news, right? We may have many, many news. Some of the news are not really very good. Now, at the time, we must check for the first one, Kalavadi. We should think about the time, the timing. So what time should we talk about it? The main thing is, when we are going to speak something, talk to somebody, then we must remember these factors, Kalavadi, speaking in the proper time, and Buddhavadi, telling the truth and the nature. This is also really very important. 3, Atthavadi, telling beneficial things for the present and future welfare. So that means some of the conversations are not that much beneficial for our practice currently. It will be beneficial for the future. Now, for example, you may listen something about nimitta in the Dhamma talk. Currently, it's not useful for you because you haven't experienced yet. But later you can experience. At the time, it will be useful. Similarly, balance and controlling faculties. So now it's not that easy, but gradually, when it becomes easier and easier, especially when you see the nimitta or have very deep concentration, you will come to know how to balance. So the main thing is atthavadi, it must be beneficial for present or beneficial for future. So we must speak this kind of things. This is called proper conversation. If we just say many, many useless things, this is actually improper conversation. Then 4, Dhammavadi, telling related to 9 supramantin dhammas. When we say dhamma, actually there can be many different meanings according to the context. As you have learned Dhamma's quality, even the Dhamma's qualities, some of the qualities are mantin, some of the qualities are supramantin. So now here in this case, 9 supramantin dhammas. Okay, I should explain what is it really called 9 supramantin dhammas. It means 4 path knowledges, 4 fruition knowledges, and nibbana. These 9 are called supramantin dhammas. So that means if we are talking about the practice that leads to path and fruition knowledge, that leads to liberation. We can also say like talking about samatha or concentration, talking about vipassana or insight knowledges. These all these things also, all this kind of conversation also leading to nibbana, leading to supramantin state. That's why we can speak this kind of things. Although we don't have special topic here, for example, contentment. Contentment is what we use in Buddha's teaching. According to modern community, we can say minimalism. Right? We can say minimalism. So that means when we talk about minimalism, how to seduce, right? That means how to decrease, how to reduce the material we are using, right? Then how to use our time properly, how to arrange the food properly without wasting. So then we talk about contentment or fullness or wish. That means not wasting unnecessarily. So all the things, or the contentment also actually, if we are so greedy, we're going to have contentment. We have to subside the greed to have this kind of ability, that kind of quality. Similarly, living in seclusion or solitude. When we talk about living in solitude, maybe bodily solitude, living alone, mental solitude, just meditating, keep knowing one object all the time. When we talk about this kind of things, it also leads to subramanian stage. That means we are trying to overcome defilements. So Dhamma will be very wide. Anyway, when we are going to talk about the Dhamma, it may cover path knowledge, fruition knowledge, and Nibbana. So whatever topic that leads to Nibbana, then we can make compensation. Then 5. Vinaya Vadi, telling related to restraint. Restraint means samvara, and removing the defilements, bahana. Here, when we talk about Vinaya, we have two different Vinaya. The first one is samvara Vinaya, restraint. So that means we have to avoid doing something wrong, something harmful for ourselves. These are called restraints, samvara. So in the case of samvara, restraints, it also can be training our bodily actions, training our bhava actions. In the case of restraint, it also can be considered as guidance sense doors. Later we have to explain. Then removing defilements. Removing defilements means actually as a new meditator or as a beginner, it's not that easy to remove defilements. But anyway, we can subside, we can oppress, we can abandon temporarily. This is also good enough. If we can practice well, we may have less defilements. That's why Vinayavadi means telling something to restrain or to remove defilements, something beneficial to remove defilements. I have a reason I have always say, right? For example, contentment. This is also overcoming greed. If we are greedy, we're going to do these kind of things. Similarly, fewness or wish. Sometimes we wish to get many, many different things. The fewness and wish also important. This is also subsiding greed. Similarly, we may talk about metta, loving kindness, sympathetic joy, compassion, equanimity. All these things also can be considered as beneficial things. That means when we have very strong metta, we can overcome hatred, worry, anxiety, fear. Similarly, when we have very strong compassion, sympathetic joy, equanimity, we can overcome greed. We can also overcome hatred, delusions for sometimes. So if we are going to talk about the practice like this is also called Vinayavadi. That means we are going to train ourselves to avoid doing wrong, or we are talking about how to abandon defilements or how to overcome defilements. This can be considered as Vinayavadi. Okay, now 6. Nidana-vadi, the speech that should be kept in the heart forever. So sometimes our conversation, just listening from left ear, I rather go out right here, right ear, right? Just listening. We don't keep in our heart. If our speech is beneficial, useful, we may keep in our heart. So that means it must be more meaningful to keep in our heart. This is also called Nidana-vadi. I remember some teaching of some like a recommendation of my teacher when I newly finished school. I was still using his admonishment. One day, he called me to be with him in the breakfast. In Mandalay, we don't have a breakfast usually. Only Bali teacher have breakfast. As student, we don't have breakfast. But after finishing my examination, I become automatically teacher. Right? Then he asked me to come to his living place, his residence, also for breakfast. Actually, he has never seen me. I mean, he may have seen me, but he didn't know I'm a Kovida because he has many students, thousands of students. Among the thousands of students, some of them finished school recently. So he bring all the new teacher. Then when we are in the breakfast on the table, he asked me a very simple question. Now you have finished school. What are you doing now? I just say, I'm learning English. They say, okay, if you learn, you must try to speak English. He say like that. After that, he give special order. Very simple order also. Okay, as long as you don't think that you are a teacher, you are useful. As soon as you think that you are a teacher, you will be useless. So that means sometimes I have to learn from my student. Right? I cannot be teacher all the time. So give me this kind of order, right? As long as you don't think that you are a teacher, it will be useful. You will be useful. As soon as you think that you are a teacher, you will be useless. Very simple, right? This is it. I can remember all whole my life. Then another order, although my body teacher, another teacher. When I was young, very young, maybe when I was a teenage boy, maybe, right? He gives this order. When you are young, okay, just do as a young people. That means when you are young, don't do very heavy duty like old people. That means when you are learning, you don't wish to be Dhamma talker or the meditation teacher or anything. Don't follow, don't imitate famous people. Right? When you are young, just do as a young people. But if you are doing old people job when you are young, when you grow older and older, you will become younger and younger. That means we cannot be mature, right? When we are young, we do many jobs like a Dhamma talker or Pali teacher or that kind of things. But when we grow older, we have lack of education. We don't study well because when we become famous, we don't study well. So that means when young, okay, do young people's duty. When older, do old people's duty. Right? We must separate our duties. So I remember this order whole life. Since I was a teenage boy, you can imagine. Now I'm nearly 50 years old. When I was a teenager, I have got this type of order. That means some types of order are really very meaningful. We can keep in our heart whole life. Similarly, some of the conversations, although it's very simple, very short, but it's very meaningful. We can keep in our hearts whole life. This is also important. So 7, Sabatesang, telling the simile. So if something is unclear, we should give the simile. Right? For example, what is a nimitta? Nimitta working like a smoke, like a cloud. We give many simile, right? Similarly, we may have many other things. Kasina, what is it? What really mean kasina? Kasina mean like a circle. Right? Let me we can give simile. So if something is unclear, we must give simile. This kind of conversation will be useful, but to understand clearer. Even the Buddha himself used many different similes. Actually, we also have this kind of books in English. Buddha give many simile, a collection of simile. We have one books. In Myanmar also we have many books like this, simile, the given by the Buddha. So according to the listener's conditions, we can give different simile. The Buddha himself also gave different simile. For example, when the Buddha is giving a Dhamma talk to a farmer, the Buddha will give many different simile. Or Saddha, The faith or confidence is like a seed. Without saddha, you cannot grow anything. It's like seed. The practice, that means the kanti, patience, perseverance, or endurance. This kind of thing is like a rain. Without raining, the seed cannot grow. Without water, the seed cannot grow. The Buddha gave many simile about the farming with his teaching. Similarly, when the Buddha made the kit also, Buddha gave very simple simile. I was scared of death, but on the ways, a group of kids and children, right? Children are going to kill a snake, chasing. The snakes are running away. Then the Buddha said, are you scared of snake? Yes, we are scared of snake. Why are you scared? We are scared of death. If snake bite us, we will die. Similarly, snake also scared of you now. Right? Very simple. As you scared of death, snake also scared of death. So Buddha gives very simple simile. This is called Samadhism. So in every single conversations, if necessary, we can elaborate by using simile. Another one, Priyanta Vati. There is a boundary or limitation of speech. So sometimes we make conversations, it's endless. We don't have any particular topic. Right? So Priyanta Vati, there must be a special topic of discussion or conversation. For example, we have a group of bhikkhus living in the forest, Venerable Ananda, Venerable Bhattacharya, and big group. Venerable Bhikkhu, Venerable Kovida, big group in the forest. They also discuss the Dhamma, but they have a limited topic. It can be 4 nights. The same topic, different angle. Sometimes, if we just have special topic, we can also understand deeper. So mostly in our daily conversations, we don't have any special topic, right? Just talk here and there, and less. When we are going to talk about anapanasati, it should be purely anapanasati. Don't mess up with any other things. Similarly, when we talk about kasina, it should be about kasina. Don't mess up with any other thing. We are going to talk about morality or Vinaya discussions. Actually, we also have some Vinaya discussions in the monastery. So at the time, mostly we just bring special topic. Special topic is some of the explanations are very long. Then we have to divide into 3 different parts. Okay, today we will discuss about only one part of this topic. The next day we may discuss second part of this topic. Like this, we have to divide into groups. The main thing is, when we make conversation, there must be limitation. There must be special topic. Right? So without topics, if we just speak whatever then we like, it will be endless, not that much useful. Another one, Atta Samhita, together with benefits or welfare. So when we talk about Atta Samhita, Atta means beneficial. I have already mentioned beneficial in this present or in the future. So when we are in the case of Atta, we can also say 2 different things. It must be beneficial for ourselves. It must be beneficial for the listener, both. So sometimes we just talk many different things, not that much useful. Even we discuss something about a sutta, for example, right? We just bring about a sutta in the conversation. But if we don't study properly, we can understand deeply, not that much beneficial. Sometimes it will mislead people. Even yesterday on the way, we have some conversation about Kalama Sutta, right? Actually, I remember many people ask this kind of question. Many people also say the same things, right? When people are lazy, they just bring this topic, Kalama Sutta. And they may say, don't believe something. For example, when I talk about Tipitaka or commentary or something, they may say, The Buddha say, don't believe the books, textbooks, right? Sure, it's Buddha said in the Kalama Sutta, don't believe the text. But if you go to the end, then you may find, after practicing, if it's beneficial for you, accept it. This is the suttas. Sometimes when we are lazy, we just pick up only one part of the sutta, right? Then we just argue, not that much beneficial. Even in Vinaya also, if we read full chapter, sometimes it's a different meaning. If we read only one part of chapter, it will be another meaning. In Vinaya also, we have that kind of problem. In Sutta also, we have similar problem. Even we have already talked about Kanika Samadhi here, right? You may remember Kanika Samadhi, momentary concentration. If we read full passage, it's another meaning. If we cut only the last part, it's another meaning. You may remember Kanika Samadhi, right? So I have already explained entering into the jhana, emerging from the jhana, discern jhana mentalities. After that, discern their rise and aberration as anicca dukkha anatta. At the time of vipassana, momentary concentration arises. And I speak all the things like this, right? But now, many people, they just cut the last part. At the moment of vipassana, momentary concentration arises. So the last part, they just cut the last part. Then misunderstanding. If we read full chapter, full passage, another meaning. If we read only the last part, another meaning, right? The main thing is atta saitami, it must be beneficial, useful. Sometimes we have a lot of controversy, a lot of arguments about the sutta. But the most problem is not reading full version. Just pick up some parts. Also not that much beneficial, okay? So the main thing is atta saita means it must be beneficial for ourselves, beneficial for other people. It must be beneficial for a short time. It must be beneficial for a long time. It must be beneficial for in this very life. It must be beneficial for future life also. So we call atta sahita. So when we are going to speak, we have to filter with these 9 parts, 9 conditions. So if we have all these 9 conditions, what happened? If we have all these 9 conditions, then we can say this is right conversation, proper conversation, right? So that means pasaramadami, we just like talking, but no topic sometimes, right? So making conversation must be wise, okay? So another thing, nidharamata. Okay, so here I list out 3 types of sukha, right? Sukha also means like a happiness or bliss or enjoying. So Saya Sukha, enjoying the luxurious bed. Saya Sukha, right? Enjoying luxurious bed. That means actually sometimes bed is right? Bed maybe you may use very luxurious sofa or mattress, right? Then enjoying the touch of mattress or sofa or something, right? This can be considered as Saya Sukha. That's why for Orin person, we must have very luxurious material. Actually, now you also, 8th precept, you also know, right? Ujjasayana Mahasayana. You know? Ujjasayana Mahasayana means, was it Ujjami very high? Mahami very big, we can understand like that, right? But in reality, Ujjami high, sure, we can say high. High means it very, very, very high, legs, right? This is also allowable for Orin persons. Mahasayana can be actually many, many meanings. For example, it will be so well decorated, like the royal family, right? Some the king or queen, they may use very well decorated throne or bed, something like that, right? If well decorated like this also can be considered as a Mahasayana. But that is too luxurious. Like some of the forms or like a cotton or something, and the mattress is too luxurious, right? Now there are many feather also, very luxurious. So if we use very luxurious material, they also can be considered as a Mahasayana, right? Here, when we say Seya Sukha, that means we just enjoy, we just take, right? Enjoy the luxurious beds. That means the touch of mattress or something. Now the Basa Sukha, enjoying lying on the most comfortable side. That means we may lie down on the left side or in the right side or something. Then the most comfortable, maybe more on the back, right? Lying on the back is the more luxurious, right? Then that kind of enjoyment can be considered as enjoying the Basa Sukha. The Nidha Sukha, sometimes although we are awake, but we don't get up, we don't sit down, just keep our eyes closed and enjoy drowsiness. That can be considered as a Nidha Sukha. And you may explain that one, right? So actually, if we like this kind of thing too much, we cannot improve. So sleeping time must be limited. So we have a limited sleeping time, right? So we must wake up earlier. Although we must sleep a little early, we must wake up early. So if we enjoy sleepiness too much, we cannot improve. This also we call Nidharamata. Okay? So people delight in sleeping. It depends on, because it depends on sleeping bed, or maybe bed sheet, or mattress or something. Also, it depends on how comfortable. Also, it depends on how long he enjoying drowsiness. Close the eyes. Okay, now we have to continue next one. Number 4 is Sanganika Ramata, delight in communication. Actually, when we talk about communications, we can also say, now, Mara said like a contact, right? You may contact with your family. In the case of Sanganika Rama, there are many types of contacts. For example, we may say Tasana Sansaka. Tasana Sansaka means we to see each other. You want to see your friends, your family, then you may use the telephone, video call, something. This is also called communication. You want to hear, then just hear the voice, right? A family member or friends or anybody. This one also can be considered as sansaka, or communication. So in the case of communication, we can say good communication and bad communication. Here I tell you 2 Pali words, ditti and then sila. Ditti means view. So if we have the same view, the same idea, or the same way of thinking, we can communicate well. If we have different way of thinking, different idea, different point of view, we're going to communicate very easily, right? So even meditation, we have many different grouping, different traditions. Sometimes they say, sometimes it's not important. Only Vipassana is more important. And they also say, Sila is not important. If we do Vipassana, we can cover everything. So we have many different ideas. That's why we cannot communicate together. We cannot work together. If we have the same idea, the same way of thinking, then we can work together. Sometimes even we cannot make any agreements in our conversation, right? Although we say sansaka, although we have contact persons or we are friends, it's not that easy. So when we have friends, especially when we are going to meditate, it must be the same view, the same idea. Actually, even our relatives, sometimes we have different idea, different point of view about meditation. 2019, when I was in the US, one of the Myanmar laymen came to ask me some question about the Dhamma. After asking many questions, he also talked about his suffering. Many of his relatives follow another tradition. Another tradition means in Myanmar is a very famous tradition. but in Western country, not that much famous. Most of the Western now, or most of the foreigners know Mahasi tradition, right? We also have another tradition, but no, but in Myanmar is very well known. The biggest group, the biggest population follow that tradition. But in foreign country, nobody know that tradition. Very few people may know. Anyway, the man, his relatives follow one tradition, meditation tradition in Myanmar. But the way they behave and the way they speak are a little bit different. That's why he cannot believe that bhikkhu. Then he talked to his relatives. I cannot believe that kind of bhikkhu. Then his relatives worry about him. Why they bring him to the bhikkhu. Okay, you must ask forgiveness for him. Why I have to ask forgiveness? I didn't insult him. I don't believe. Right? This is his mind. Of course, this is not insulting, right? He cannot believe this is it. My mind. We're gonna change easily. Then anyway, later, for his family's happiness, his maybe brother and sister mostly, right? They are for their happiness, he asked for forgiveness, but not willingly do it. So this kind of case is a little bit strange to me also. For example, although we ask for forgiveness, if we are unwilling, not useful. In this kind of case, we cannot force people, right? This is not a good thing to do. Anyway, I mean, there's a different idea. Even the same family, many of our family members believe that bhikkhu and the way he practices, the way he teach, but only one man, he cannot believe, he cannot follow him, right? Then even family member, they cannot work together. Mostly, okay, now one more thing. There's a practical issue, right? Now, when I give Samatha in Singapore, you may ask many questions, right? I have to answer many questions. When I give Samatha in Myanmar, nobody asks questions. You can imagine how different, right? Nobody asks questions. Sometimes if they, although they have questions, they will not ask in the public. Most of the question, for Myanmar people, when they ask questions, mostly I'm on their car. When they are driving and they may ask many questions in the car, I have to answer their question like this. In the Dhamma talk, no question. You can imagine, right? So he was born in Myanmar, but he lived in the US. His mind is a US mind already, not Myanmar mind, right? So when he asked some question to that bhikkhu, he didn't answer properly. He just like that kind of behavior. That's why he cannot accept his teaching. Very simple, right? That means view, point of view, idea, way of thinking. If we had different idea, different way of thinking, we're gonna work together. So communication must come from the same view, the same idea. Otherwise, we must argue. It's not conversation. It can be debate. Right? Then again, sila, morality. Sometimes our standard of morality will be totally different. So, for example, if somebody asks, how do I bhikkhu about Vinaya? So we may answer willingly, because we have to follow Vinaya. We also let our devotee know Vinaya. If lay devotee know Vinaya, they can support us well. This is the way we think, the way we understand. If they don't follow Vinaya, right, they may say, Vinaya is not very important. Only mindfulness is more important. They may change the topic to their practice. Right? So that means if the moral context is totally different, we're going to communicate very well. In the case of sila, we can also say duty, responsibility. So if we are performing our responsibility, our duties very well, we will be very brave in the community. Then we can speak very easily in the community. If we're going to fulfill our duties very well, we cannot speak that much. Then also there will be a lot of difficulty to communicate with the people. Okay, briefly, Ditti and then sila, morality and also view. So morality also can say, right, abstinence, abstaining from killing, stealing, all these are also called morality. Similarly, performing duties, fulfilling duties, these are also called morality. So it depends on our model. We have different communications. For example, parents and children. If parents are dutiful, but children are not very dutiful, then they have to scold their children, right? Because they have to quarrel most of the time. Similarly, sometimes children are dutiful, parents are not very dutiful. Sure, they will complain a lot. So the communications come from duty, responsibility, and also abstinence, rule and regulations, right? So we have to communicate properly. Otherwise, it will be endless. Right? Another thing, bhojane matanyuta, moderating in food. Actually, when we say moderating in, oh, okay, moderating in foods, that means when we are accepting foods, that we must accept only proper amount we can consume. We cannot accept more than we can consume. This is the one thing. But in Singapore, it will be okay, not really big problem. But then in Myanmar, not that easy. Not that easy means many donors come to the monastery, they offer a lot. When we are accepting, so whether we like or dislike, they will offer. Right? As long as they are not offering, pouring into my bowl, it's okay. I have to accept all the things. Then another thing is, sometimes we cannot moderate in foods when accepting. But when we are going to eat, we can also choose proper amounts and suitable food for us. This is called moderating in food. So when accepting, when eating, it must be proper amount, it must be suitable food. This is called moderating in food. Okay, on the last one. Indriya so agoda dwarata. Into Gudara means garden sense doors. Yeah, if we say agoda, that means not garden the sense doors. For example, eyes. If we are unwise, the eye also asks for many things, right? Because our eyes like beautiful things, multi colors. If single color or plain we don't like, right? It should be colorful, beautiful. This is our eyes. So if we like greed, if we dislike, we can also say dosa, right? Anger or unpleasant, displeasure. So when we have this kind of mind, this means we are not training our eyes. No, we are not guarding our sense doors. Similarly, the ear. We need to listen very nice sound, very nice music, right? And also the ear also asks for many different sounds. Then actually we just say very simply, right? The eyes and ears, but actually not that simple. For example, now more than the eye, this one, get a lot of dukkha, right? For the eyes, right? This one, right? Most of the people I saw on the way, many people, even walking, they are seeing, to please their eyes, they do it, right? Not only that, actually, earphone. Actually, many people, they use earphone. After a long time using earphone, their listening is not really very good without earphone, right? So then if we say something, they cannot listen very carefully, very deeply, because using their ear very long time with earphone. Although we say guidance sense doors very simply, not that easy for modern society, right? For eyes, right? This is only, I just give example. Actually, if you go and see in your house, you may have very big TV screen, right? So I don't have this kind of TV screen, but you may have big TV screen, right? This is for eyes. You can imagine. We cost a lot of money. Similarly, for ear also, we cost a lot of money, right? I don't remember. Now, airport is very expensive, right? I have one airport, very expensive. I don't know, Myanmar currency around anything around 8 lakhs or something. Right? Anyway, the main thing is we may have many different types of earphone, right? To please our ears. Certainly many different design, many different sound devices, many different sound systems, right? Now here we have a speaker, right? Audio system. But actually there are many other different way of audio systems for to please our ear. Similarly, the nose, good smell, including this one, smell. And every single product, they use smell. We have very much difficulty. As a bhikkhu, we must not use perfume soup, right? Really very difficult to survive, especially 2019 when I was in Chicago. I asked my Kabiya to find the soap without powder, without perfume. He find many places. Finally, he bring one soap. Finally, this is the best I can find. I cannot find more than that. So from that time on, wherever I go, I just bring my own soap. Right? Really very difficult to survive. Without smell, all the products, right? Even like washing powder, for washing machine also the liquid, right? Detergent liquid also good smell. Detergent powder also good smell. Very difficult to survive. For nose, spend a lot of money. The dukkha sense those very easy, right? If I say trying your eyes, ears, no tongue, you may say very simple and very easy, but not that easy, not that simple in modern community. So if we avoid, sure, it will be better. Similarly, tongue, people also cost a lot of money for this tongue also, right? They want to get special taste, special ingredients, special chef also, right? Then also very expensive. They cost a lot of money for it. So whatever thing we eat just for that's only is good for our body, is good enough, right? Sometimes we just follow our tongue too much, and we cause unnecessarily, right? The greed, also unpleasant, greed and displeasure, all the things can be because of not cutting sense doors. If we can cut our sense doors, everything will be smooth. Certainly the body, okay, it will be different from you and me also again, right? I don't know how much money do we have to pay for these clothes, right? So whatever color we wear is the same. Whatever material we wear is the same, right? Not much different for bhikkhus. For lay person, it's a little bit different, right? Some of the clothes will be very expensive. Then also, it's something like a limited version maybe, right? Limited edition maybe, right? Then it will cost a lot of money, but they will be proud of their clothes, but actually they are wasting money, right? So that means the main thing is expensive or cheap is not the main things. The purpose of wearing is to cover the body, to protect our body from the heat and cold. This is the main purpose. And sometimes, although we wear a very expensive one, it does not work for our body. This is useless. Sometimes we forget the purpose of wearing, the purpose of eating, right? The following many unnecessary things. That's why we say, in this Gota Dwarata means we have to guard our sense doors. That means don't follow the demands of eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and body. If we follow their demands, it will be endless. Okay? So that's why guarding sense door is also important to improve. Okay, briefly. So I have already mentioned we have to guard 6 stars. If we have 6 stars, we can improve. So you have already mentioned Kama Ramata, delight in activities. Pasaramata, delighting in conversation. Nitaramata, delighting in sleeping. Sanikaramata, delighting in communication. These are delighted. You like this kind of thing too much. Now, the bhojane matanyuta, we can also say bhojane amatanyuta, moderating in foods or not moderating in foods. So that means if we moderate in foods, this is the way to improve. If we are not moderating in foods, is the way to decline. Another thing is increase Gota Dvarata, garden the sense doors. This is to improve. If Agota Dvarata, not garden the sense doors, is the way to decline. So if we wish to improve, we must try all these tasks. Is the way to improve. Right? Sometimes following Buddha teaching, we also cost less money. Right? If we follow Buddha teaching, we cost less money. If we don't follow Buddha teaching, you may cost a lot of money. Practically only sense doors, you can imagine. Right? Follow Buddha teaching, you can save more money. Okay, practically now, when you observe 8 precepts, 1 meal, skip. I don't know how much does it go for 1 meal in Singapore. Right? If you observe 8 precepts for 7 days, that means 7 meals, you can save money. Right? This is what the Buddha says. Right? So people say minimalism, minimalism, minimalism. Actually, this is very popular. Now many people say minimalism. We are doing minimalism very long time ago. Huh? So anyway, the main thing is improvements, right? Improvement comes from training. If we follow our desire too much, we cannot improve. Sometimes we have to do against our desire. The practice is not what we like or what we dislike. To improve, whether we like or we dislike, we have to do it. Similarly, if we are unhealthy, then the doctor may prescribe medicine. Bitter or sweet, we have to take it. It's not come from what we like or what we dislike. It's just come from what we need. Similarly, in this community we live, if we have good practice, then it will be very helpful for our community. It will be very helpful for ourselves also, right? It will be beneficial for both parties. That is why not only meditation, you can also do your daily activities, right? Such as the dana. You can also do dana, okay. Just maintain doing dana. You can also observe precepts, sila, okay, this also you can do. Okay, additional one is bhavana, meditation. This is also important. This is training minds, right? If we can train our minds, then we can also train our speech and our body actions. Then whatever thing we do, it will be very effective for our community. Okay, so these are for improvements. If we do against all these 6, it will be for decline and for declinations. If we expect for development or improvement, we must follow Buddha teaching. But what about expectation for declination? We don't need to do, right? Just follow our desire. It's very easy. So to go upstreams and to go downstreams, you can imagine which is the more difficult. When we are training, we are going upstream. We need more energy, more efforts. If we follow our desire going downstream, we can go effortlessly. But one more thing, we become lower and lower. Mostly downstream will be lower and lower, right? Upstream is higher and higher. So if we go into higher destination, higher place, we have to train. We have to go upstreams against our wish sometimes, okay? May you all be able to practice Buddha teaching, and may you all be able to realize the final cessation and not suffering.
Vietnamese, what's the meaning of water pouring during the sharing or transfer of merits? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay. So actually, pouring water is like making witness, right? We may pour water into the cup, we may pour water into the tree, and then the water will go into the soil, right? This is like making witness. You may know when Mara attacked the Buddha. before he attained Buddhahood, right? Before the sunset. At the time, Mara said, "This is my throne. Now leave." What I just say, just point his finger to the swine. The swine is the planet Earth is my wilderness. That means whatever he do dana, he do kusala, he share merit, and he pour water into the ground. It becomes a wilderness. Okay. Similarly, in the case of pouring water, this means to make the planet Earth as a wilderness. Okay.
Vietnamese Sayadaw, what is the Micha Samadhi and Sama Samadhi? What is that? May Sayadaw teach him. Sadhu.
Okay, Micha Samadhi and Sama Samadhi, two different things, right? Okay, Sama Samadhi is a very simple. When we are mindful, or when we just focus on the good things, or when we have very deep absorption on the good things, we can say Sama Samadhi, such as Kasina, Anapanasati, or the jhana can be Sama Samadhi. Okay, although it's not strong enough, for example, when we recall our dana, our charity, we may remember, right? Because the concentrate on it, this is also called Sama Samadhi. In the case of Micha Samadhi, that means thinking about bad things all the time. Okay, I'm going to give one example. Venerable Devadatta. He arranged everything very well to assassinate the Buddha. So we don't know how many days, how many months he keep thinking about the same things. But the way he arranged is very smart. Not in good way, right? In bad way. That's why in his case, we can say Micha Samadhi. Think about one thing, whole day, whole night. Similarly, in modern society also, for example, you may think about something bad, whole night, whole day. This also can be considered as Micha Samadhi. Right?
Vietnamese Sayadaw, layman Kapiya like us, when offer to the bhikkhu, why when we already offer to the sangha, if the layman we touch the foot, so if we at that time we have to offer again to the bhikkhu.
Why?
And then at that time bhikkhu can use that food. Why like that?
Actually, it's some misunderstanding, right? This is some misunderstanding. Actually, Isika, you also people, you know that rule already, right? Then, for example, in the case of offering, actually, after offering, as long as bhikkhu didn't relinquish the one, it belonged to the bhikkhu. Although lay person touch, it doesn't matter. But now modern society, they have different practice. Actually, luckily, you ask Pao bhikkhu, right? That's why I give very simple answer. If you ask another tradition, it will be very messy. Again, even they don't even they don't allow them to touch their properties in some tradition. Anyway, the main thing is actually after offering, as long as we don't add anything into it, it doesn't matter. Right? Unoffered things and offered things cannot mix up together. This is the one thing. Okay, I think you are. Okay, you can see my picture, right? Okay, now I will show you. Here, the cup, right? I will hold like this, right? Then also maybe Kapya may hold like this and offer. After that, he may touch. It doesn't mean missing with unoffered than something. For example, he may touch in the lip, in the rim of the cup, right? Then there will be unoffered dust staying in the cup. In this kind of case, okay, lay person should re-offer. So now modern society, we cover offer, right? Touch anywhere, it doesn't matter. Right? I think there are some misunderstanding. They are misunderstanding about offered and offered things mix up together. Okay. Next one. Oh.
When we are heedless and lazy, And when we want to enjoy essential happiness, so when this state of mind is very strong, how should we overcome them? Second question, when we cannot sleep well, what can we do before sleeping in order to help our sleep? Third question, when we have too many wandering thoughts, how to overcome them?
Okay, the first one is okay, we have many different solutions. For example, Asubha Bhavana, right? The first one is Asubha Bhavana, right? 32 body parts or many things we can do. We can overcome this kind of very powerful mind. So not only that, actually, by reading some books also is possible to overcome, right? Second one is about sleeping, right? When we say sleeping, actually, if you cannot sleep, you have to check what kind of food causes also one thing, right? This is something caused by food also. If caused by food, you must solve another way. If it's because of meditation, if you cannot sleep, for example, you may see the light, very strong light, that's why you cannot sleep. At the time, it's not that much problem. Just close your eyes, but don't think about, don't use your eyes to see the light, right? Close your eyes, just keep knowing the breathing or meditation subjects. When you have deep concentration, relax. Let me stop focusing, relax totally, feel free for a few seconds. After that, restart, focusing on the object. When you have a little bit deeper concentration, relax again, one more time. After relaxing many times, your effort and concentration cannot balance. You may fall asleep naturally. Okay? Now, the last one is a lot of wandering thoughts. This is the normal, right? As long as you have the same thoughts every day, is fine. If you have the same thought, right? For example, like anger, you are angry every day, taking the same thing, the same object, it will be very difficult for you to overcome, right? Similarly, greedy, you are thinking about only one object to be greedy, then it will be risky. As long as you have just short thoughts, just come back to the breath or come back to the object, in this case, it doesn't matter. Of course, if you don't have any thought, it's better, right? It is the best to practice. But for beginner experts, to stop thinking. Sometimes you may have analyzing, sometimes you may be curious about something, then this also can be considered as thoughts. Okay, compared to unwholesome thoughts, wholesome thoughts is okay, a little bit better. If you don't have any wholesome thoughts, just keep knowing meditation subjects is the best. Okay? You know, we will start, right? Ita vadaja amehi sambadang punya sambadang sabbe deva numodandu sabbe bhuta numodandu sabbe satta numodandu sabba sampatti siriya idame nyatinam hotu sukhita hondu nyatayo idame nyatinam hotu sukhita hondu nyatayo idame nyatinam hotu sukhita hondu nyatayo idame punyam asavakaya vaham hotu idame punyam nibbanasa pacayo hotu mama punya bhagam savasatanam bhajemi te sabe me samam punya bhagam labantu sadhu sadhu sadhu